All right, December 8th, 2025, I took a futures trade. I was hoping I could be someone that traded um, more support and resistance. That seems to be the flow for a lot of traders. They call it different names, but basically it's support and resistance. And I've not had much luck with it. I find that liquidity and fair value gap are kind of my bread and butter, so I'm just gonna kind of stick to that. And since it works, it works. So on today's trade, it's a Monday. I think the first thing I did was actually look for any news. I looked at news yesterday and I didn't really see much of anything. I think for the week, just giving it a good look, whatever this is, it's a red folder, so we don't know what time that's going to happen. Looks like Wednesday will probably be our, and Thursday will be days to look out for as far as US market. Um, yeah, I do the same thing I do every time, which is great for me because it's just good practice to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Even if it's boring or dull, that's good. There's nothing wrong with boring or dull. Actually, boring or dull probably means you've either perfected or you've gotten a really great hang of it. You can teach it to somebody else, you're at that point. So, my boring everyday sort of flow is I mark my lowest previous price, I mark my highest previous price, I demarcate the previous session from the Asian session, London session, pre-market, and New York session. In the Asian session, I mark my lowest price and my highest price. I usually do this on the 30-minute. On my London, I mark my lowest price and my highest price in the London. I usually also squeeze out into the weekly to give myself a clear understanding of what my bias is. I kind of look bullish on here. I'm not going to go through the details of that, but in my mind, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. If I don't look at today's activity, just looking kind of more here, I'm bullish on the 4 hours. I'm bullish all the way through. So naturally, my bias can be bullish, but I'm always going to play off of what the market is offering and not be stuck to my bias. That's something I'm learning. And so coming into this market today, I do have an EMA, but I barely pay attention to it because I really don't know how to use it. I guess I just wanted something extra on the screen, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so I look at London specifically because I look to see if London does anything to react to Asian market. It did not. I mean, this proved to be a good resistance well, not for London. Actually, no, London did nothing. Sort of would quote unquote consolidated. And then it barely here, just like, what is that, 6 in the morning, it takes out Asian low and reverses pretty nicely. But I noticed just watching and using my eyes, Nas takes out Asian low. I'm pretty much in the pre-market when I noticed this. Nas takes out Asian low and reverses, but it doesn't take it out on SPY. Now we know both instruments kind of work together. They kind of follow each other, so to speak. So interestingly enough, to know that Nas took Asian high out but did not take out Asia high in the SPY made me feel like we're actually going to be bearish. Another reason why I thought we'd be more bearish is when I looked at high time frame draws on liquidity, I saw more, these black lines are draws, potential draws. I saw more of these to the downside than to the upside, and you have this really huge gap. And the idea is that I'm learning market is all about magnet. I'm going to go where there's the least struggle. And if these are lined up like this, it's so much easier for market to grab all of these than to grab just these two, have this huge space of I don't know what, and then potentially go up here, even though my bias is bullish. So there is a moment where in my mind, I'm thinking it might come down, grab a few of these that are close by, and then head back up bullish, or it might just totally go up and go back down. Who knows? But that was my thought process too, was that even though the market looks bullish based on these low time frame draws or high time frame draws on liquidity, it will probably come down and take those out. So when I saw that price for Nasdaq took out Asian but price for SPY did not, I kind of treated SPY almost as my leading because I felt like it was telling me, yeah, we know we're going to go bearish. I don't need to take out Asia highs over here. But NAS has already given us a signal that it's going to show this liquidity, this sort of fake out. We're going to go up, but go down. Of course, I wait till market opens because you know, it's just better. The volume really comes crazy when market opens, and that kind of gives you a realistic view. So market opens, SPY does not take out Asia highs or London highs, and I'm thinking perfect. So it's really going to set up perfectly. I'm just going to wait for my fair value gap to tap in and drop down. But don't mind this gap. This is a 4-hour gap that I was looking at. On the 5-minute gap, it never tapped in. Never did. So realistically, I thought, gosh, if it's not going to tap in, then let me look at NASDAQ. And so I just kind of waited to see who would give the best positioning, so to speak. And it wasn't until, let's see, 10:25. Yep, on the 5-minute here. So basically, even though SPY was going to be my leading, I decided to focus on NAS because it actually gave me an entrance. So I marked my fair value gap here. Candle came in with this green, came out with this brown. I entered here. I entered in low risk. I'm not going to lie, psychologically or mentally, I was fearful because this is a little bit later. I was also doing some other work somewhere else, so I was multitasking with things. So I wasn't really completely focused as I should be. So I entered in with like one MNQ and one NQ. And then I remembered that I kind of just want to get some of my contracts funded or whatever it's called. Switch over to Express. It looks like one of them just transitioned over. The other one, for some reason, has not. But either way, my earnings for the day, whether it matters, is 383. I linked all of my accounts. So it's actually supposed to be 6, but one just got, one of these just got Express funded, and that's why it's not showing it right now. But yeah, just to say that I did not take a full trade and that I didn't really have a great stop. I set my stop loss above my fair value gap and I took my trade down. I didn't aim for this take profit, even though realistically that would have been an appropriate aim, or maybe right here would have been appropriate actually. But as you can see, it's already sort of showing a reversal back. I was hesitant at this line to even take the trade because this fair value gap and this entry point is so close to this really important key level, which is an Asian low. And so ideally it's like, hey, this is also a draw on liquidity. We could just end up zooming right back upward. So I kind of waited until I had a good closure candle beneath this Asia low to let me know we're still moving in the downward direction. I took that trade down. Let's see. I honestly think I was only in a 15-minute trade. So obviously my earnings, my earnings for that, I mean, not all of my accounts are Express, but if you just, money is money, 383 times 6 is 1800, I guess. So 1800, maybe 1900 or so. I did well to wait. That was the best thing that I did, and that's great for me because I'm so impatient. So that's the best thing that I could have done. What I should have done was not be focused on anything else because I think I probably could have taken this trade a little bit earlier, somewhere here. I also kind of looked at the 4-hour of this. I think this is the one. If it's not, then maybe it's on ES. Probably not, but I looked at the 4-hour. Yeah, here. And I think based on this 4-hour, I could have entered in as well and kind of set my stop, my take profit somewhere here, which it looks like it hit. So yeah, I did everything I needed to do. I was just distracted, but I also wanted to reach a goal of getting a couple more Express counts passed, and I only needed about $300 to get them both through. So one of them already shows that it's processed. The other one, it's still dragging. It's definitely supposed to have, like, I don't know why this is saying 326. It was actually 800 or 900 something. It was actually 800 before, so I'm sending an email to them. But yeah, overall good trade for a Monday. Can't complain. another lesson to me is to just stick to your strategy no matter what. So I'm sticking to fair value gaps and liquidity. We'll see what happens tomorrow.